Good evening and welcome back to Sctv, Simpson College's first student-run newscast. I'm Jake Brennan. I'm excited to be with you one last time this semester.
And I'm Liv Allen. Thank you all for joining us tonight.
Liv, you're looking awfully festive.
Well, we are so close to Christmas break, but before we get into it, we all have to get through finals week first.
Finals started today and will go through Wednesday, so if you're looking for a place to study and get away, Ethan Humble has you covered with his top study spots on campus.
It's finals week here on Simpson's campus, and I've been sent on the very interesting task of finding where the best study places are across campus. Come with me, and we'll find out where they are together. Well, our first stop is the Holy Grounds Coffee Shop here next to Smith Chapel. You can grab a nice warm drink over here, or enjoy the warm atmosphere in the rest of the room. You're sure to see all of your final stresses and worries drift away. Well, hello there. Our second stop is in the Amy Robertson Music Center, where you're bound to hear someone either singing or playing their instrument for great ambient noise to study to. Or, if you're like me, you can enjoy our next copy of the Simpsonian. Although we've had our last print edition for the semester, we'll be back in the spring. It only felt like a matter of time until we'd end up here in Dunn Library. The clear-cut, quintessential study place on campus features a number of different ways to get your work done. On the second floor, we have a number of cubicles. We're able to zone in and just do your work by yourself for some time. There's also a number of different study tables where you can sit down in groups and get your work done. I personally get a little distracted, but hey, if you can do that, more power to you. On the third floor, we also have group study rooms. So if you have a project or a presentation you have to work out with some members of your group, great option up there on the third floor. And here, we have the most important study resource of all, coloring, which I'm going to take part in right now. Our fourth stop is the Kent Campus Center, where you're bound to find so many other students grinding for their finals just like you. Actually, a less populated place in Kent, though, is up here on the second floor in the Art Gallery, featuring my favorite font, Centaur Bold. And this leads to my final spot on campus, right here in Gaumer Center, the communications lab here on campus. This is the radio station where my shameless plug comes in. If you want to do a radio show next semester, reach out to my Simpson email at ethan.humble@my.simpson.edu, and I'll be sure to get you and your pals up on the airwaves. But this isn't actually where I get my homework done. Let's head over to the other lab. Now this is where the actual work happens, in the communications lab. It is a little exclusive though, so I apologize, but this is my favorite place to get my graph theory homework done. Yeah, it's a rough class, everybody. But this has been your walk across campus to see all of the best places to get your work done. As you can see, there are a number of different ways that we can storm through finals. So let's get it done, everybody, and let's do awesome out there. For SCTV, I'm Ethan Humble.
One of the best traditions for students to relieve stress returned this year with Doggies at Dunn.
This event has been a finals week staple since 2015, but wasn't able to happen last year due to COVID-19.
Students came in last Thursday from noon to 2 to play with and pet dogs to take any stress off from finals.
4 dogs came with the service organization Pause and Effect. This is all part of their training towards being a service dog.
It really was a best of both worlds.
Once finals are over, students will be on Christmas break, which means it is officially the holiday season.
Campus has already been festive with tree decorating contests. SCTV Caleb Gear has more.
From Christmas carols to finals week, Simpson is in full holiday mode. On the second floor of Kent, students can vote on their favorite trees put together by various campus organizations. First year, Olivia Erickson has not been exposed to many Simpson traditions, but still appreciates the festival.
I like this tradition. I don't know how long it's been going on for, honestly, but I think it's very fun.
Erickson says the competition only spices things up in the battle of the evergreens.
The fact that there's kind of like a competition just makes people want to go more all out for it.
The trees are located on the second floor of Kent Campus Center. Voting closes Friday, December 17th at 5 p.m. For SCTV, this is Caleb Gear.
If you watched our Halloween episode, we ranked our favorite Halloween movies and candy. Well, we're going to do the same for Christmas. Liv, do you want to take us through your favorite Christmas movies?
Of course. Coming in at number 5 for me is Four Christmases. Now, this is a super underrated Christmas movie, but I promised it will have you laughing your Santa hat right off, Jake. It's a great one. My next movie is A Year Without a Santa Claus. It's one of the Rankin and Bass classics for a reason, and I always find myself having the Snow Miser and Heat Miser theme songs stuck in my head around this time of year. Number 3 for me is The Santa Claus, starring my distant relative Tim Allen. Just kidding. It's a classic feel-good Christmas movie with the perfect balance between wholesomeness and humor. And in my opinion, the sequel is just as good as the first movie. Second is Elf, and it's one of the most popular Christmas movies to this day, and rightfully so. They couldn't have casted anyone better for Buddy the Elf than Will Ferrell himself. And taking the number 1 spot has got to be Home Alone. Again, the perfect mix of wholesome moments and comic relief, and the plot is engaging throughout the whole movie. This movie lives on my TV screen rent-free during the Christmas season.
A Charlie Brown Christmas. This one is probably cheating because it's only a short film, but it's not the holidays without Charlie Brown. Of course, this has to be the one run on local TV and not the movie they made a few years ago. Number 1 on Liv's list is high for a reason because it's one of the most quotable Christmas movies ever. It also has a heartwarming ending. It's one of the movies that I watch every year. It's essential. Number 3 is How the Grinch Stole Christmas. Not the animated one a few years ago, but the original Jim Carrey version. Nothing else. This is one of the best costume designs ever and delivers one of the best Christmas stories ever told. Number 2 was also on Liv's list, Home Alone. This was always my favorite as a kid, but I revisited it last year, and it holds up. Some of the most creative comedies in this genre. And finally, at number 1, National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. The best Christmas movie by far. The Christmas lights scene is my favorite, but the dinner scene with the delicious turkey is a close second. I watch this one at least once a year, if not more.
This may seem like a basic answer, but how could I not feature Christmas cookies on my list of my favorite Christmas treats? My personal favorite are the peanut butter Hershey Kiss cookies, but I'll gladly take any type of Christmas cookie this season. My next one is a bit more unconventional, but Oreo balls are one of my favorite treats of all time, but they just hit a little different during Christmas time. If you've never tried Oreo balls before, do yourself a favor and find a recipe to make them. Number 3 on my list is fudge. It's a very versatile treat and can be made with tons of different flavors or features. White chocolate peppermint fudge is perfect for the holiday season, but my favorite kind is the Alaskan fudge that my roommate is bringing me after break. Can't wait for that one. Peppermint bark clocks in at number 2 for my list. The mix of chocolate and mint flavor I think perfectly encapsulates the holiday season, and it's just so good. My number 1 treat is a bit less decadent than the others, but they are candy canes. This one hits home for me as my childhood home's Christmas tree is always stocked with candy canes, but it's also just the perfect, quick and easy holiday treat, one that will never get old. I'm not sure how many times a day I'd take candy canes off of our tree as a child during Christmas, but I'm sure the number was staggering.
See, I'm going to have to disagree with you, Liv. I'm not a huge candy canes fan, but at number 5 for me is Gingerbread Man, and none of these will look as tasty as Gingerbread Man from Shrek, but these dipped in milk are one of the most delicious snacks, especially during the winter time. Up next is apple pie, and maybe this is just my family, but we eat apple pie after Christmas dinner every year. My grandma, she makes some good apple pie. It's what America is made for. Just don't eat too much of it. Be sure to save room for everything left on my list. Number 3 is hot chocolate. Took me a while to think of this one, but this is a snack that is amazing when it's cold. It's one of the best feelings ever. Throw a marshmallow in there with some whipped cream, and you have one of the sweetest treats ever to warm you up. Number 2 is Christmas tree cakes from Little Debbie. The easiest to access, just a box at the store. They're even better if you put them in the freezer before eating. I bet you didn't know that. And number 1, it's basic, but it's easily the best, Christmas cookies. Sugar cookies, of course, with homemade frosting, sprinkles, cinnamon bites. It's not too uncommon for me to go through 10 of these in a day.
There was a big doubleheader inside Cole's Fieldhouse this Saturday with Wartburg in town for men's and women's basketball.
We will start with the men taking on Wartburg in the second leg. First half signature, Andrew Kerman pull-up. He does that a lot. It was back and forth early. Deontay Johnson intercepts the pass, goes in transition by himself, and makes a no-look behind to Skylar Hamlos. He finishes with the easy 2. Believe it or not, that wasn't Johnson's best play of the day. Now, big man Chris Hollins goes up and 1 for the senior. Freshman guard Jack Hutchinson with the floater. He's looked good so far this season. Storm trailed by 7 at the half. Now big man Lincoln Swanson spots up and drains it. His first triple of the season. Now shot clock running down. Eagleburger finds Johnson, and he throws it down, a poster dunk on his head. Play of the year, but the Storm ultimately lose 77-59. Now a top 15 matchup for the women between number 12 Simpson and the 5th-ranked Knights. Anna Wanek starts things off first with a deep 3. She had 11 points on the day. Now Cameron Kincaid goes in and 1 again. Storm led early 20-3 in the half. Now we go to Kaya Rasmussen. She hit 5 threes on the day, including that one. And now we go to the leading scorer of the day, Reagan Freeland. Pull-up jumper in transition. She scored 23 on this 3. From way deep, almost the logo, a big student section that day. Now Cassie Nash tips in transition. Rasmussen finds Wanek wide open in transition. The Storm dominate. They win 90-74 as Cassie Nash gets her own in transition with the layup. Huge day for the Storm. They will be in the top 10 soon.
What a huge win. Great job, ladies.
Absolutely. And Reagan Freeland was also named Conference Player of the Week for her performance. What an honor. That's 2 years in a row after her performance against Wartburg. And that's going to do it for us this week on Sctv.
As always, we would like to thank Professor Siebert, Professor Carpinelli, and Professor Steffen for making this newscast possible.
We'll be back after break, but until then, have a Merry Christmas, a Happy Holidays, and don't forget, you stay classy, Simpson.